John Bunyan said, "You have never really truly lived until you have done something for someone that cannot be truly repaid." This is a story of one such gift and then another. Sometime during the summer of love, I spent many hours listening to a cut on the Beatles' White Album called "I Will." Who knows how long I've loved you? You know I love you still. Will I wait a lonely lifetime? If you want me to, I will. It seemed like a lonely lifetime that I waited, but some 20 years later, I met the person I'd been longing for. Donn was a wonderful companion. Some of you have met him before. And he was thoughtful and logical. So it surprised me when, sometime after our brief courtship and deep commitment, we were walking in Park Presidio, and he found himself without words to tell me something important. "What is it, Donn?" "Well," he said, "I've got end-stage renal disease." Translate, please. "My kidneys are failing." "But don't worry. It should go gradually. And as long as we don't encounter something that causes me to get very sick, we should have several years of a healthy kidney ahead of us." Within 3 months, an innocent but rather snot-filled little child had given him a big hug and thus declined his kidney after some torturous days of, what is it you call that thing when they change your blood? Dialysis. Thank you. We were the lucky recipients of good news. His family, a collaborative group, gathered together, everybody offering to be tested, duty-filled and love-motivated. In order of squeamishness, one came in at a 50% match, the other 75%, and his oldest brother and youngest sister came in at a 100% match. It's like winning the lottery twice in a row. Donn went into the hospital with his brother. At that time, they didn't allow the donors and recipients to room together. Instead, the hospital staff considered it wise to have Donn in a separate room. In the middle of the night, before his surgery, they wheeled in another patient who was going through a severe kidney rejection episode and lost a kidney. Very inspirational. But Donn had the surgery, everything went well. The doctor, in not too medical parlance, came in and said, "Everything should be fine. Gary's kidney pinked up and peed the moment we connected you to it." We went home with flowers and balloons and had a wonderful couple of decades without a single rejection episode. Donn took very good care of his kidney, and also the two of us advocated for organ transplants. We once wrote the parents of Nicholas Green, whom some of you may be old enough to remember, was killed in a drive-by shooting in Italy while his parents were driving in a car in the middle of the night. The parents' decision to donate every piece of Nicholas that could serve another human being motivated the then low records of kidney donation in Italy to spiral to the top. Donn also made a pilgrimage with his brother to the Tower of Bells that was donated by people all over Italy to be put in Bodega Bay in commemoration of that act of generosity. But although Donn and I and his family were very close, everything has its highs and lows. When Donn's father died, there was a tremendous break in the family relationship. I was seen as the cause of it. So it turned out that the one sister who had so much vied to be the donor of Donn's kidney it was his brother who was chosen because, after all, he was a science teacher and he could use this forever and ever, teaching his sixth graders about osmosis and kidney function. Besides, she had 3 young children, and he was about 6 months from having his own first child. At any rate, where was I? So, there was this big hubbub, and his sister once called him and said, "Donn, you've got to treat me well. Remember, I'm your only remaining kidney donor." He said, "Keep your kidney. If I ever need it, I don't want yours." But Donn never needed a kidney. He took such good care of it that it wasn't until almost 4 years ago that his body began to fail, but not his kidney. At one point, as he appeared to look across the universe before taking his last breath, at one point, Donn did take his last breath. But I'm here to share with you. One, this is a story of tribute to those people who have made the very difficult decisions to give the organs of their loved ones away and to choose that for themselves. It's also a story to urge you to be strong when you are hesitant. Every year, 100,000 people practically are on a waiting list for organs, and about 20 people die a day in the United States alone. And this is also a commemoration of the love that my husband gave me, which was made possible because somebody said, "Take mine." Thank you.